so we're going to be some things just butt heads a little bit there, okay? So we've been working on that, and what's going to happen here, and this is why I'm bringing this up last, is because people are going to see this, and there's going to be two people. There's going to be one person who sees it and says, oh, "I knew it," and there's another person who says, "Okay, what's the plan?" Like Kelly, right? This is what I told Kelly, and he said, "Okay, what's the plan?" And essentially, what we're going to do is there's two things that could happen potentially in the next week or two, depending on what solution we find that's actually the best solution. Solution number one, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about what to do with new people that you're bringing in while we're changing out our videos, okay, and altering some of the sales material and things like that. Well, let me grab some more water. There's two things. There's a possibility, and it's a smaller one, but we're working on an arrangement that could work for this, where everybody who has a merchant account right now will just move it laterally, taking the same merchant information, and just move it to another provider, and none of you will have to go through any sort of an application process again. There's one solution that we have to where that may be able to happen. Okay, it might, and it may or may not even be the best solution though. Okay, but that is solution number one. It's called like a lateral move is the way our guy is saying it. We'll just take essentially the merchant store numbers and just they move. Nobody has to go through another application. The merchant accounts just move to a new provider. Solution number one. Solution number two is we'll have to go through a phase of reapplication, but we'll be able to get people approved relatively quickly. The important things that we're making sure of before we choose who we're working with is number one, that they can handle our application flow. Number two, that we have a good relationship with the people at actually the top of the organization, so they're open to communication because we're bringing them so much business. We can't have department heads not communicating with each other and form a long-term relationship. It's not appropriate. That wouldn't be ethical for us to keep doing it. It's not the right business model for us. So we want to make sure we have written agreements that are really strong and stable with financial institutions that we're working with. And we also want to make sure that they're open with us if they've got an issue that's something that we're doing they don't like, so they can come to us and we can have a discussion and decide on something that can be changed, and that you're not going to be hearing one thing while we're saying another thing, where the team member's saying another thing and then the corporate head is saying another thing and an email goes out and says something else, which is exactly what has happened to us since we've really started. So there's been a lot of miscommunication. There's been people that have been told things that aren't necessarily true. There's been communication that's gone to some of you guys that actually hasn't been accurate. There's been some of you guys that have been trying to get approved where you can't get a hold of one person, so you call another department and nobody will pick up the phone. And that is not appropriate or right for me to leave you guys in that situation. So you say, well, Dave, so what's the solution here, and what's the plan? Well, we have both, okay? But number one solution we want to make sure is that this is the most important thing, and then I'll talk about the other important things for you and what we're working on and how we're going to implement them to make sure that every single person in the entire organization gets the message. And this will probably cost Dave and I close to $100,000 to implement this entire strategy, just to make sure that we're able to reach out and connect with everybody properly in the appropriate timeline and bring everybody over together. So here's the important things for us. It's number one thing that's most important is that they can handle our volume, all right? Because I have found through talking to a lot of banks, talking to a lot of merchant providers, talking to a lot of sales guys who really, really want our business, I found that it's very rare for somebody to be able to handle our volume. And we'll be bringing in folks by January, just continuing our current growth. We'll be bringing in 1,000 people a day, or 1,500, or 2,000 people a day. Okay, and right now we're having a problem with 300 or 400 merchants a day. Okay, it's about the number of applications, and it's creating issues. Okay, so imagine if that was 1,500 and how many issues we would have. It's not appropriate. Okay, so that's being worked on, and we're going to work on something that's right and with people on a level of 1 to 10 on integrity and 1 to 10 on skill. we're going to get a 12, all right? And we won't bring anything less to the table for you guys, okay? Because I care about your future and I care about the future of the company. And we're not a flash in the pan. You know, we're not here to make a bunch of money and then run somewhere and say, let's do a new hot deal. I've been burned by that too many times. I'm here to let you know that if anything ever happens to the Empower Network, all right, that it is not because you didn't have people that worked their ass off, didn't see their wife for 3 weeks just to support you in your business, that it was something that couldn't be fixed, right? Here's the good news. This is an issue, this is a solution that we have a fix for, all right? So here's what's going to happen, just so you guys know, and there's a lot of miscommunication and department heads at First Data. We have that online application page that's up there now. Sometime in the next week or so, probably, maybe the next couple of weeks, that application page will just be taken down. So if any of you have links to it, we'll be removing our links to it. You can feel free to remove them at any time, just because the page is going to be removed, and so it'll be a dead link somewhere. If you have a team website, a lot of you guys have team websites, you can remove those links. In the interim, with new people that you're bringing in, okay, I want to strongly encourage everybody here to have them set up a PayPal account and use PayPal for now as an intermediate transition solution, so they don't go and apply for one merchant account and then have to immediately apply for another in like, you know, a week or two when we've got that solution. So if you're bringing in new people and you're talking to them, which would be great if you talk to them. I know I haven't had time to talk to all the people I've brought in, but I honestly have tried. It just is, there's too much going on and too much in the day, so I'm going to try to hire somebody to talk to my people who are coming in, just to make sure they get talked to. But have them use that as their new members. And some people have been worried actually about PayPal. And here's the reality, folks, is that would be an issue. The issues that can happen from PayPal are issues that will happen with very few people who do lots of volume, all right? So most people in the Empower Network are not going to do $20,000 in sales their first month, right, from a new PayPal account. Most people are going to end up coming in and doing, you know, a few hundred, maybe 1,000, maybe 1,500 their first month. For those people, they're not going to have issues, folks, as long as they treat their customers right with that. We have really easy setup instructions for that also on the profile page. If you go to the profile page and you scroll down, all right, you see a PayPal email. There's a link to a blog post I did on how to set that up, all right? Just so you guys know, in some countries and random places around the world, I've learned that the PayPal interface looks different. So what you need to do